Good morning, everyone. Hopefully you can hear us here as we begin. Just a few moments were needed to connect audio. Always struggles with going live on webinars. But good morning, everyone, as we continue our webinars. I believe we're week 3. Sydney is a week 3 now. I think this week we're continuing down the path of online marketing for mining companies. And today we're going to get specific with all of you and talk about how important it is for online marketing for mining executives, and specifically LinkedIn. Um, Always important to make sure your LinkedIn profile is professional. We're going to spend the next 15 minutes diving deep into LinkedIn, what you can do to make a great profile, stand out in your industry, build the credibility, and again, turn potential investors into shareholders in your company. On the right-hand side, our chat section, always great to hear where you're from. So if you have a chance, type into the right-hand side in our chat section. Let us know what city and country you're from. Always great to know who's with us internationally. I know we have some followers that have been with us each week from the UK, Vietnam, and others. So always great to know where everyone is from. And any feedback. We're into week 3 now. I received lots of emails in the last week of those that were with us from Vietnam and other great places, but those that have begin following us and what we're doing. And there's some public company LinkedIn company pages actually that were sent to me over the last week. So it was nice to review and see those. So again, my name is Scott Briard, CEO of Stock Marketing. This month is actually my 22nd year of experience with online marketing. Built our first website for a retail store we had here in Mississauga. May have been the first website in our industry, in the games room industry, definitely the first in e-commerce. And since then, my wife Kelly and I have built hundreds of websites, accounts for social across every platform. We love what we do, especially for public mining companies. So as we make our way into today, we're really following some of the stats and numbers that we've produced and posted over the last few weeks. Some keys to this: we know 6 hours a day, especially since the pandemic, people are spending online in front of a screen. North American adults, an hour and 46 minutes a day on social. And sooner or later, we kind of get tired of, seeing pictures of our neighbor's dog on Facebook, celebrities posting again on Twitter and Instagram. It's great, passes the time while you're doing nothing. But professionally, for those that matter, climbing corporate ladders, building their credibility in their industry, nothing is more important than LinkedIn. And for those online with investment dollars available, that individual is almost certainly to have a LinkedIn profile. Hardworking people climbing corporate ladders, as we've mentioned. It's important for their career that they be on LinkedIn. And especially if they're a business owner, they're definitely on LinkedIn. They want to make sure their company is properly branded. 750 million users worldwide, and 30% of North American adults have a profile on LinkedIn. And any of these people, well, at the end of the day, they can become an investor in your public company. So this is key today that we start talking about your profile. So the first thing these people want to do is hear about your company, or they will hear about your company from a friend or read a news release of yours. They want to know who is at the helm of the company, who's on the board, who's in management. And the first place they go to, well, it's your website. We covered that 2 weeks ago. Keys to your website need to be your bio. But the second place they're going to go to for credibility, they're going to your LinkedIn profile. And they want to make sure you've got the chops, you've got the experience for them to invest in your company. So let's lead into today's webinar. We want to make sure your LinkedIn profile is the best it can be. And let's provide confidence for investors to become shareholders in your company. So let's dive right in. We worked earlier this year. Wonderful gentleman from Edmonton, Alberta, CEO Perry Little of Green River Gold. We worked with him to complete his profile. Great guy, but he had never considered the importance of his LinkedIn profile. And anyone investing in a mining company, they want to know who is the jockey on the horse. They're betting on them as much as they're betting on the horse. And no doubt investors wanted to know who Perry was and what has he done before, and why should I buy shares of Green River Gold? So key things that start off as you're looking at Perry's profile here online. We needed a great recent professional photo. Make sure it's got a white background when you post yours there to LinkedIn. Nothing with a black, dark background. Make sure they can see you. Builds confidence. And make sure it's recent. Don't go posting something. We have some CEOs we know online. Their photo from university is still there from 1982. Let's get away from that. Find something recent, something professional, and something somebody you always live with can take with an iPhone or such and edit as well. Make sure you got an interesting cover photo. Perry here, proud to be from Edmonton. There's a nice skyline from Edmonton there in his background. Something exciting and something that ties into either your industry or maybe it ties into the city where you're from. And right below Perry's name, most important part, because it carries on as people do searches for connections on LinkedIn, make sure the position you're with your company is listed there. If you're with multiple companies, try and list as many as you can, because it's going to allow those who want to connect with you to know where you're from and exactly what your title or position is. So as we make our way down in any profile on LinkedIn, we land in the About section. And here's Dwayne Parnham's here. This is really where you get a chance to tell your story. What are you all about? What are you about within your industry, your sector? What do you care about? Keep it professional. They don't want to know about your dog or you're restoring a 1968 Camaro in your garage. It's not stuff they want to know. This is where you get to tell your story. And this is really where the secret to your history and experience for anyone to become an investor in your company, this is where you get to post it. So in here, talk about companies you've been with, really tell the story, but keep it within the parameters of LinkedIn. You'll always find that there's character limits to this section, different for everybody, I believe, if you have a sales navigator profile or you pay for that extra LinkedIn opportunity. But this is where you really get a chance to put your experience, past positions with other companies, and any awards or philanthropy that you're involved in goes right here into your About section. You can write it as first person, as I have in my profile, or as Dwayne has written it here in second person. So we move through this as we attempt to move through pages here. There we go. James McIntosh, another wonderful gentleman. It's where you get a chance to put your experience. And this is where usually the number one mistake is made on LinkedIn profiles, is that users forget to attach themselves to the correct company they've worked for, school they've gone to, make our way back to his experience. A lot of people go and they type in a company name and they leave it there without noticing there's actually a drop down of companies with that company name. And usually if their company profile is completed, as we did in last week's webinar, make sure you click on and attach yourself to a company that is correct. There's a LinkedIn profile to it, and you usually notice because there's a correct logo there. So once you're past this, make sure you list all years and positions you've had with any companies. If you're a board member for any company, make sure you list it here. It's important for credibility. And, go all the way back to college or university when you began your professional career. Leave out any time you were a paper boy for the Mississauga News or McDonald's cashier. You don't need to list those times through high school or university, but your professional career, make sure it's there, and anything that's professional or relevant to your professional life. Education, volunteer sections are easy to complete. Make sure you do. Make sure in your company experience, attach yourself to, the actual school you went to, the companies you work for. The school is important because you get a chance to really connect to past classmates. It will pop up. You've graduated from this school. Here are people we suggest you connected to that may have graduated around the same time. Great opportunity to build those connections. Any volunteering you've done in your professional life, make sure you add it. You never know when it may resonate with an investor. And most importantly, it lets everybody know, you're a good person when you're volunteering. So this pretty much completes your profile. Make sure to always get in, update it where necessary, make any changes when you leave companies, join companies, any updates to your education if you're heading off to get an executive MBA. Add all this content because it's certainly relevant to build credibility for those that are going to find you on LinkedIn. And always have a look down below in your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn's always adding other sections down below. Spaces to fill out include licenses, certifications, accomplishments, and such. So always have a look at the bottom when you're filling this out. So past your profile, next most important thing is connect with people. And it's really part 2 of our webinar today. Now that your profile is polished and there's a great picture of you, it's time to connect and build your following. And everyone you connect to, with will be able to view your posts on the LinkedIn platform. And obviously, the more connections you have, the more eyeballs that will see your content. So from a business perspective, you want to connect with as many people as possible. So how to do that? Well, it's pretty easy to log into LinkedIn and start building connections. Start with finding everyone you remember from college or university. Alumni is really important, especially if they're currently in your industry. And from there, well, do some searches on family members that may have LinkedIn profiles. Always make sure to go back and connect with them. Neighbors, Most importantly in your industry, past coworkers. Go find those you currently work with and those you worked with before in other companies. Connect with them. And finally, the most important people you connect with, influencers in your industry, especially in mining. You know who these people are: successful CEOs, captains of industries, thought leaders who write a lot of articles. Connect with them, because when you post content to LinkedIn, it's going to make its way by their eyeballs, and you want to request to connect with all of them. So connect, simply search for the names up above in LinkedIn search area. The connect button will pop up, giving you a chance to request it. They still have to approve. And what's happened now, especially this year, LinkedIn has limited people to 100 requests per week. So unless you're paying for LinkedIn Sales Navigator where the options increase, where you're able to make some more, connection requests, you are limited to 100 per week. So when you hit that mark, LinkedIn will usually prompt you and say, hold on for another week. You've hit your capacity for this week. But build your connections. Incredibly important for the most important thing, which is you sharing content. This is why you want to build a large connection base. So similar to all other platforms, the more friends you have on Facebook, the more pictures of your dog will get liked or shared. Same with Twitter. Recent trips you post on Instagram, likes and shares are important. Same is applicable for LinkedIn. But this is where you want to share company information or industry news that'll build your credibility and really draw attention to your company from potential investors. So the most important thing you can do to post to your personal profile is actually resharing company posts. Whenever a post is made and you view it on your newsfeed from the company you're with, whether you're an executive, management, or board member of, make sure you like it, and then make sure you share it. The share button is there, and it's incredibly important. So it now makes its way out to all the eyeballs of those you're connected with. Once you select the share option, you can also add some commentary. Mention that you're very excited to announce, or take the company, the title from the company post, might have been the title of the news release, and make sure you add it into your post as well. Also a great place for you to add hashtags, words that are keywords involved in your industry, your company. Add them down below before you hit that post, option to send out, what you're resharing from your company. And visit LinkedIn daily if possible. Whenever you see a post from any of the companies you're with, make sure to complete this task, as it greatly increases the impressions for your company. And the more eyeballs that see it, the more potentials for followers to your LinkedIn company page. And then from there, more potential investors become shareholders. So also, to build your own personal brand in your industry, share articles here regarding your sector, or interviews and videos you see of key experts. You can simply copy and paste the website address or YouTube link where you find the videos and add them into your post on LinkedIn. Where this content is found in LinkedIn, it will automatically take it and turn it into an exciting post for you. Add your own comments and commentary to the top of it when you post it. But this way you're going to be trusted and become, the credible source for key information for your industry. So finally, next step and the final step for building a great profile is to engage on LinkedIn. As you scroll your way through your newsfeed, you're seeing posts from other connections or companies you may follow. Make sure to like those posts and make sure to leave a positive comment. If you allow your name to be seen, it increases the chance for others in the industry to connect with you. And most importantly, engage with anybody who comments on your past posts. LinkedIn will always keep you informed when someone comments on your posts, either by email or dropping a notification when you log into LinkedIn. And be sure to thank these people if they've left a positive remark or trying to start a conversation with you regarding that topic or conversation. Make sure to begin communicating with them there in your post and show that you're engaging, especially if they post any feedback. Let them know you care about it, and then start engaging. Engagements always build connections, and then connections build following, obviously, for your company. So what can a professional profile do for you on LinkedIn? Well, let's have a look at one of the first people I started working with 4 years ago. Probably the second or third person that began executive branding with us, 2017. Sheldon Immontash, following my advice, now has over 18,000 connections on LinkedIn. It's huge, the largest number of anybody that's worked with us. We've got other great numbers into the thousands. James McIntosh, Jonathan Buick, Dwayne Parnham's up close to 5,000 connections. But think of the eyeball Sheldon has whenever he posts about the companies he's involved with. All of this exposure is from a free social media account on LinkedIn. And as we've just discussed in this webinar, it all begins with a great personal profile. So begin building your connections, begin establishing some credibility on LinkedIn, and slowly over time, you'll definitely notice you're turning potential investors into shareholders in your company. So that's it for week 3. Be sure to review your personal profile and make sure to connect with mine. It's important to build our connections. And as we continue down this path of educating mining executives on key things such as LinkedIn and other things that we'll get into in upcoming weeks, connect with me on LinkedIn. Always great to know your thoughts and for us to review your company and what you're up to. So find me, Scott Briard, there on LinkedIn. Could I touch on cultural differences? Has just been posted on the right-hand side. Thank you, Jesse, for the question. Cultural differences. Can you elaborate a little bit on because no doubt, and I guess it's just going through my mind, definitely, I don't know if we want to go down the path of cultural differences with regards to social media and LinkedIn. No doubt there are, but I think we're really staying focused on company content. Requests from people who we don't know. Any content shares? Have you observed any? So obviously connection requests are going to come from those who just want to take advantage, sell you something, get you immediately connected to them. So it's an automatic response from them to, click a button to purchase a product or a service. It happens if that's the path you're going with this kind of question. I think for a lot of people, when you're reviewing those that you want to accept connection requests on LinkedIn, obviously make sure they're people within your industry or people you may have something in common with. LinkedIn is certainly used for spam for a lot of companies to get access people to solicit to. I think for the most part, people can tell they get it all day long and, spam email and such, and it does come through on LinkedIn as well. Possibly when you're referring to cultural differences is the fact that we notice a lot of these requests come from outside North America. So, be choosy on who you accept requests from. Know that you can always, delete them later, that you can disconnect, block, and maneuver your way out of that connection. It happens to all of us. We want to obviously build our connections, but sooner or later we find that those have connected with us with, requests so that they can connect and immediately try and sell us something. So that's the path you're going to. We know it happens. And just be choosy when you are selecting those you want to connect with, those that have made requests to you. Next week, I guess we're heading into November 30th. We're going to talk about how your public company can perform well. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We know hundreds of millions. We know Facebook's into the billions, how important those platforms are for public companies. Content similar to what you're posting for your LinkedIn company on that platform matter as well for what goes out on the other social platforms. Tuesday, December 7th, we're going to get into YouTube and public podcasts as well on channels on Apple, Spotify, and Google. We know how many people are watching videos online these days, and podcasts are booming. We're going to discuss how your public company can take advantage of that as well. And we're going to wrap it up the 6th week with email distribution and web notifications for public companies as well. So I cannot thank you enough for your time. Again, if you have any more questions, certainly post it on the right-hand side in the chat area. We're happy to keep these down to about 15 minutes and to answer any questions following at any time. And make sure to visit stockmarketing.ca/Scott. Past webinar videos are there. If you've missed any, this one will obviously be added there as well in future videos that we produce. And also make sure to connect with us, connect with our company, Stock Marketing, and find me on LinkedIn, Scott Briard. It'd be great to make sure we're connected with all of you that watch these as well. There's nothing further. Sydney, thank you for joining and moderating today. Nothing too severe, but always great to know our audio is up and running well. And thank you to everyone who's listened. We hope you get into LinkedIn today. Review your profile. Make sure you get an updated picture, great cover photo. Update all of your experiences, your education, and start building the credibility I think you need for investors to become shareholders in your company. Thank you, everyone, always for watching. We greatly appreciate it. Thanks, Matt. Always great to hear from everybody. And most importantly, have a great day.